directly through a retail channel, right? Your customer is your customer. And when the lead if that customer happens to call our loan servicing department, since we service 99.8% of the loans we originate, and when that customer inquires with us, we send it right back to you. Okay, and we also have a lifetime free. Oh, I can't use the word free, but we have a lifetime no lender fee, and no appraisal refinance program. I should have put my phone on mute. Apologize. So that means if when your customer, so it doesn't expire. It doesn't expire in 2 years, 3 years, or 5 years. It's lifetime. Okay, so your customer comes back to us and they can get basically a free appraisal, no lender fee, free appraisal, and essentially basically a no cost refi. Anytime. So as an originator, you can. That's a great tool to have in your tool belt to say, look, rates go up, rates go down. That's the only thing that we know for sure. Right. Only we know for sure. And if you look at least based on history, anything can happen tomorrow. At least based on history, right? It's not flat. Right. Rates have never stayed the same. I don't even think even for a day they've ever stayed the same. Right. So the only thing that you know for sure is the rates are going to change. Yes, they can go up further. They can also go down. So you can hedge by being partnered with someone that's going to offer this ability for you to go back to your customer and basically, almost at a touch of a button, lower the rate when that time comes, if the market moves favorably. Okay. So, to say, you're going to kind of have to get it out of their heads like, hey, yes, it's whatever it is today, 6%, whatever. Yes, it's more, it's not 3% that it used to be, a year ago, but it doesn't mean you're stuck with that for life. It isn't a life sentence, right? Your interest rates are not a life sentence. You can, when the market changes, you can lower it. And SunWest is there with no lender fee. And if interest rates rise, right, which I personally believe, based on what the Fed is saying, I think they're going to rise. I think we have a brief rally. I hope I'm wrong. I love to be wrong when I make bad predictions. But if interest rates rise and guess what? As a consumer, you're protected again because you're locked into these interest rates. So it's a free option. We're basically giving consumers a free option. So you lock in today's rate, and you can have a very, very low cost refi if rates drop, and if rates go up, life is good. You're locked into a good rate. So loan originators need to be able to explain this correctly, and I think there has been, in the consumer sentiment also, when rates initially rose, there was a lot of shock and disbelief, and buyers weren't ready to accept the higher interest rates. Sellers weren't ready to accept the fact that they may have to lower their home prices. All that, I think that that takes a quarter or two to set in and people to realize, oh, this is the reality today, and I think the market has accepted the reality. So I think we're going to see a pretty good sort of a normal flow of real estate again. Okay, and the other thing on real estate is there's been a large shadow inventory with the servicers due to COVID foreclosure moratorium, right? But that, I think the stats were when the moratorium was issued, there was no foreclosures for almost 2 years, and on a normal year, something like 1 million homes a year are foreclosed on. Right, so there's 2 million homes of backlog that are going to hit the market. Those foreclosures are snaking their way through the pipeline right now. So we're going to see inventory open up. And that was a big reason why there was a housing crunch, is that there was no foreclosure inventory coming in. Okay, so we're going to see the inventory open up, which is going to, not good for sellers. It's going to cause prices to soften, but overall, the market is going to find a new supply-demand equilibrium, right? And frankly, I'd rather be a loan officer with a 6% interest rate, where my buyer doesn't have to compete with 10 cash offers, right? Than a 3% interest rate, and my buyer, can't win the bid because there's all these cash offers, right? So the market is I think overall it's not bad, right? It's not bad for originators who are ready to look at this in a very disciplined, professional manner.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I heard someone say the other day, maybe it was you, maybe I'm quoting you to you, but you can refinance the rate. You can't refinance paying $200,000 more than the home's worth. So yeah. It's almost like in the buyer's benefit if the originator is really able to explain that and has access to that low cost refi.
Yes. You got to be able to tell because 30 years might as well be a life sentence, right? So you got to go tell the customer that, hey, SunWest is behind you for the whole duration of your loan, not just for a couple of years. Right? That I will be here and SunWest will be here with you, because SunWest, more than likely will service your loan.
Yeah, I think that's something that we don't talk about, or originators don't necessarily talk about, that is so important, is who is servicing for the life of that loan. If you look at our servicing department reviews, they have awesome reviews. They give great customer service. And as far as the borrower's concerned, the origination is such a small piece of that 30 years that they're potentially dealing with the servicing company. And if you don't know who's going to service that loan, for better or for worse, that reflects on you as the originator, right?
Yeah, I'm very proud of our servicing department. And we publish the turn time stats on our website under turn times. And I think something like 70% of the calls are answered in 8 seconds. And nothing's ever answered beyond 20 seconds. And I know if you try calling one of the big box servicers, if any of you have loans with any of the big major servicers, you're on hold for a long time before it's picked up. And then if you ask a hard question, then you're off in Never Land. Right. So, we train our servicing department, our customer service experts, that when a customer's on the phone, you will basically stay with the customer until the problem's resolved. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. And by taking that attitude, what happens is they're empowered to make decisions. And our customer service reps are empowered to make decisions and to find a solution to their problem, whatever the need is. And when, like, almost everyone in our servicing department has been with us for years and years and years, right? So there's this massive amount of institutional and just industry knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it takes someone who's been working in loan servicing for 10 years, and I'm more than happy to empower them to say, yes, make decisions. They know more about it than anybody else. You don't need to go ask a manager or something, because you might as well. You could each one of these people can run a massive servicing department on their own. So experience counts. They've seen it all. Right. So that's what keeps it moving quickly and keeps things going.
That's excellent. So aside from being able to have those conversations with your borrowers to look at the market holistically versus just what is the interest rate versus what was the interest rate you were looking at a couple of years ago, is hugely important for the originator's success today. And also cost, right? Because that goes into the rate. So what are some things that you've done to keep our costs so low?
Well, I think before I forget, I'm going to change topics a little bit.
Sure.
I will get back to that question.
You're allowed to do that.
For all of you who are watching who are in the Fresno area, so we have a happy hour lunch and learn tomorrow at noon. Don't miss it. It's going to be tons of fun, and it's at a sports bar.
Woo!
Ooh, yes. So we're gonna watch some games and we're gonna have some fun.
Yes, we hope to see you there.
Yeah. So if you haven't registered already, just go to swmc.com/limitless and register. It's gonna be a great event. So that was the commercial break. Back to your question. The key to staying relevant in this business is you can't run a business assuming that you got the margins of 2020. When it was 2020 and there were good margins because the Fed was printing money, we were focused on, hey, this is not going to last forever, right? And this could end any day, literally. I mean, we were surprised how long it lasted. It was more like, this is going to end any day, so let's use this opportunity to really tighten down and be in a position where when the margins do get thin, right, we're still profitable. Okay. This AI that we call Morgan, it's been in development for decades. But it really, the technology all really came together coincidentally through the 21, 22. It cuts the whole operating, it just automates it so much. It cuts the entire operating cost down to sub $200 per loan file. And the last time I looked at Quicken's or Rocket Mortgages, oops, I shouldn't be. Wait, we need a beeper. We need a beeper.
I think we said that last week too. I'm gonna order one. I'll just.
Apologies. I didn't say that. The last time I looked at one of the public lenders' financials, it was running around $900. We need one of those live TV tape delay things.
Right. See, that's the problem with going live. I can't say, oh, we're going to cut that out. So here it is, folks. The uncut.
So anyways, so if you take one of the biggest, highest volume guys out there, and our volumes are, a fraction of their volume, and we can get it down to a fraction of their cost. So as our volume keeps increasing, I mean, we're going to be down to sub $100 soon. Between our volume increasing and which direction the AI is going, this year, I think before summer, we're going to have conditions resolved in seconds to minutes. And we're already, and Angel, you're going to go over this in a little bit, but we're already 70% below 40 minutes. And that was actually November end numbers, I think. Mm-hmm. So I know it's better even now because the AI just keeps getting smarter and faster. So the goal is any document, right, whether it's a tax return with the 100K ones or whatever, any document you submit will be reviewed, analyzed, and decided upon in minutes. And basically no human touch. Do that fast means no human touch. That's where we're going for. So there is human touch today. I mean, where is that human touch? Like if the AI has an exception, if the AI didn't understand a number that's on the document, or something in the document didn't fit its rules, right? Or it is something in the document that I'd never seen before. So then it goes back and gets escalated, and so forth. And so there are humans that help along, and every day the humans have to help it less and less and less. So it's going to be very interesting that we're going to be able to see documents, complex income and credit documents, fly through our engine, okay, and practically no human touch to it. And we're going to see that this year. So what that means to you is incredible, like instantaneous speed, like on demand review and response. And second, what it means is accuracy, no mistakes, no oopsies, right? No human error. Okay, and we already are at that point of no human error. That's why we give 100% warranty on Morgan's responses. So when you drop a document to Morgan, or you drop a scenario to Morgan, and Morgan gives you an answer, there's 100% warranty. We'll stand behind it. Okay, because it's that reliable, right? And if it ever makes a mistake, right, I'll write the check. That means what does that mean? That means I'll fund the loan and I'll scratch and dent it. And the loan, if it makes a mistake, that means the loan's no longer agency eligible, right? Okay, so it has to be scratch and dented. Right. It is what it is, right? It's made in the last 4 years, almost 5 years now, it's made 4 mistakes. Yeah. And I honor the warranty.
That's amazing. I don't know any human that could say in the past 4 years they've only made 4 mistakes.
I think I've made 4 mistakes in the past hour. So one just on this recording.
So I mean, so many benefits to embracing technology and you really being on the forefront of innovating the technology that's getting us there. But it helps the margins, it increases the accuracy, therefore the experience, and is making things so much faster. As you mentioned, the turn times that we have now, which are only getting faster, are a fraction of what is being advertised out there by other lenders. So let's take a look at the turn times too. So we've been talking about it. So this is our turn times the end of last year. So we should be coming out with our next report card, as we call it, here pretty soon. You're going to see these turn times get even quicker. But when we talk about an 8 a.m. approval, that's for a TBD, a pre-approval, or for a true loan. We send both directly to underwriting. That also, just that process expedites the origination process. But when we talk about 8 a.m. approval, that means you submit a loan by 8 p.m. in your local time zone. You get your conditional approval by 8 a.m. the next morning. 99.8% of all loans met that 8 a.m. promise. And those weren't just, really easy cookie cutter loans either. So looking at the stats here, over 32% of those loans were for borrowers with FICOs under 620. They were almost 50% for borrowers with less than a 5% down payment. Over 50% were for first-time home buyers. So that's another one of the benefits of the AI and the technology, is that it doesn't matter whether it's that borrower with the 800 credit score that has all their documents real clean and neat. Or if it's that person with a lower credit score, they've got some blemishes on their credit, they've had a few jobs over the past few years, it doesn't matter, because the AI can review the documents just the same in the same amount of time. Condition review, you mentioned 70% of conditions are actually reviewed in under 40 minutes. So your borrower submits a condition, you submit a condition, 70% of them are going to be reviewed and cleared within 40 minutes. 95% are done in under 60 minutes. 99.5 are under 90 minutes. So those are some amazing numbers. And like you said, Pavan, we're only getting faster. So I'm looking forward to seeing our next 100-day report card. And I know you being in the position you're in, you get to see the previews of everything that's coming. So you're smiling like what I'm going to see.
I'm like Sergeant Schultz. I know nothing. That's a reference I'm sure you won't get. You're way too young for that one.
That's another one I'm going to have to Google.
Yeah, you have to Google Hogan's Heroes.
I have heard of Hogan's Heroes. I haven't.
Yeah, so there's Sergeant Schultz. I'm sure there's some people in this call that must be laughing. They're old enough to remember that one.
All right. Well, we've been talking about Morgan, and when we're talking about turn times and Morgan AI, and one of the questions or comments that we get a lot when we're talking about these things is, yeah, sure, okay, that's what it is at today's volume, but what happens when volume increases, as we all want to see it do? What happens with our turn times and these warranties that we make as volume increases? So what would you say to that, Pavan?
I say, bring it on. The bottom line is nothing. Right? If our AI didn't improve anymore, if we stopped investing in our AI and just stopped where it is, we can today, I think what the number is like, we can add 4 times or maybe 5 times the current volume and nothing would change. And then after that, all we'd have to do is add like 3 people for every, whatever is it, 300 million a month of additional production. Right. So that's where we are today. So it's like, it's that efficient. I mean, no, it's like we're I think we're closing something like 20 loans per FTE or something like that. It's crazy. And no mortgage company's ever done this, 20 or 30 loans per FTE. And we're not done with the AI yet. So wait till it's down to reviewing conditions in minutes. Right. So, we'd be able to put thousands, tens of thousands of loans in at a time, and it'll fly right through. So you never have to worry about a bottleneck or something. And another, if there's a big refi wave that comes, bring it on. Everyone in this call, everyone listening, be cheering, yay, refi wave. Let's bring it on, yay. We want rates to go back to zero. It'd be like $3 trillion of mortgages that need to be refied all at once.
Yikes. Well, good thing you got Morgan.
Yeah. So, the other question that I get asked a lot, and I put out a post the other day about it. I think just today, actually, it was a nice little animation we put out. The question is AI going to take all our jobs away? Do we have to worry about it? And is AI the Terminator? It's going to terminate all our jobs. And I was in a call with a bunch of our agents yesterday, a bunch of originators, and they called it the Levenator. So they called Morgan the Levenator because it as today's song of the day. Who saw today's song of the day? Did you see it?
I did.
It was that quote from our originators yesterday that inspired me for, or I should say, inspired Morgan for today's song of the day. And it was Jefferson Starship, Somebody to Love, right? It's the Levenator.
Yeah, if you guys aren't already connecting with Pavan on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, he does a lot of fun stuff on there. So definitely connect with Pavan. There's one of those things is Morgan's song of the day. And she has a playlist on Spotify, right?
Yes, she does. Yeah. And we have a website where you can get the playlist. I don't remember it offhand, the URL, but
well, you guys are in Morgan right now watching this. So just ask Morgan, hey, send me the link for your playlist.
All right. So Morgan loves you by closing your loans. And if we can close loans faster and cheaper, right, that's spreading a lot of love, because that is homeowners, right? Homeowners who thought that they couldn't get a loan before, that they would never be property owners, are now property owners because of the AI. Right. So think about this. How does an AI create jobs? Is because, especially for underserved markets, and you have these complex income and job situations and stuff, and disability and all these kinds of things. And you get files like, old, back in the day when you had paper files, it'd be like this thick, 4-6 borrowers and all sorts of stuff, right, to qualify for a loan. Right? And they used to take forever, and everyone else does those things manually, and they take forever and goes back and forth. It's a painful process. Right? And those poor homeowners get run through the ringers because of that. But when it's automated and it goes through in minutes and just as smoothly as a loan with, high credit score and stable, consistent job and money in the bank, then you've actually achieved fair lending. And you've, the most important place, the person you've saved or you've helped, right? The jobs that you've saved are the jobs for those people who are now property owners that were not property owners before. So you've created jobs in that process. And second, SunWest is the net gain in our employment numbers, not decrease, because we keep adding all these engineering jobs. All of these people to build Morgan and to care for Morgan and to feed Morgan and to teach Morgan.
What does Morgan eat?
Lots of watts. It's like an Abbott and Costello. What does Morgan eat? Watts. Never mind. You wouldn't know who Abbott and Costello is.
So as Morgan eats her watts, she gets smarter. Like you said, the AI gets smarter every single day. So what can people expect from that experience, or why did you choose to have the AI that is constantly getting smarter versus like pushing out updates like we're used to from some technology?
So I'll give you an example. We actually had I had a loan originator yesterday reach out to me, and he wasn't happy with an answer Morgan gave. And I looked at it. Morgan wasn't wrong, okay, but it wasn't perfect either. By perfect mean it wasn't as thorough as it should have been. Okay, so that became a training point. Right. So now not only that specific question, but any similar question will be far, far better. Right? I mean, it will be complete. Right. So think of it this way, like with the beauty of the AI is once you train it, it'll do it not only for that situation, but for every other situation that's similar. Right. And you don't have to worry about it. Like from a cost perspective, it could be a loan officer or a borrower 2 years from now, right? And he will get a consistent service level. Right. So it learns once and that's it. So you don't have to worry about, well, okay, the AI that I taught today is out sick, right? Or resigned or something, right? Or got recruited by a competing lender. And so now I got to rebuild that knowledge all over again in another AI. It doesn't work that way.
And
right. So
things like that you mentioned, that there's a training point. And so then going forward, questions like that or that question are going to have an improved answer. And that type of thing can happen every single day. And all it would do is continue to prove the AI for the next day, and the next day, and the next day, right?
Exactly. And actually you can help Morgan and you can help everyone. So if Morgan gives you an answer that you think, it didn't really serve it wasn't along the lines of what you were thinking. Right? And I'll tell you, like 99%, 99.9999% of the time someone says to Morgan's answer wasn't good. And I look at it and I said, the way they asked the question was just ridiculous. So it's like a human wouldn't have been able to answer that. I mean, what do you like? It's like instead of asking for salt, it's give me the white powder. Like what? Right. So all you have to do is tell Morgan, hey, I'm not satisfied with the answer, or I don't understand your answer. Right? And Morgan automatically escalates it to not just a human, but to an executive. Right. And to an executive or a senior engineer, someone's going to take a look at that who really knows, like, get to the bottom of it on that moment. So this is a little tips and tricks of Morgan. If you think the answer is not the best, or if you think there's room for improvement, or if you just don't like it, if you disagree with it, and I can tell you, like, in the last 12 months, maybe, I don't know, 24 incidents of someone saying Morgan is wrong, right? That this is not the right answer. And we dig into it. It's always right.
That's why you're able to warranty it, right?
No, we investigate every single time someone says it's wrong. We thoroughly investigate every single one to see if it was wrong, because we have to know, right? Because we're issuing a warranty, so we have to know whether it's right or wrong. Mm-hmm. Right? Because if it's wrong, then it needs to be retrained and move on, and we'll honor the warranty. Right? And that's the reason we give the warranty, is so that you have the confidence that to say if something's wrong, because I want to know it's wrong. It can't get better. Right? So if something's wrong, you just tell us. And if it's wrong, we'll tell you, because it's right. The whole strategy is about the product, right? A single loan or a single incident doesn't mean the end of the world to me, right? I know a single loan and a single incident means a lot to you because it's your entire commission. Right? To me, it's more about doing it right. Mm-hmm. So I'll do whatever it takes to get that loan done for you, because I know how important it is for you. Right? For me, it's not. For me, what's important is that the technology does it right. So I want to know.
And that's why we call it people-powered AI technology. And I do get this question from loan officers. Well, what if I disagree with Morgan, or I think she's wrong? Who do I go to? Or, I just want to talk to an underwriting manager. What's the phone number? And I always tell people, I'm going to start sounding like a broken record, but go to Morgan.
And just tell her.
Just tell her, I want to talk to X, Y, and Z, or I don't agree with your answer. Tell Morgan, it automatically is going to someone who can assist.
Right. But not just someone who's going to assist us. When you tell Morgan that I disagree, or I really want to talk to someone about this, you're going to get someone like Neeraj or Jennifer, or even myself, or Rosie, or somebody who's like has the ability and the authority to make a decision right then and there on the spot. Right. Everyone in the underwriting team has been with us for years and years and years. Like in the last webinar, I had the honor to mention Suzanne, who had just hit her, I think, a 10-year anniversary or something. She just got her citizenship, U.S. citizenship. So, it's like that's the typical profile of the people at SunWest. We have people that have been here for 30, 35 years. People who have been here since I had hair, and I was a little young punk rocker.
Yeah, so that's a great point too. When you say that the AI actually created jobs here at SunWest, it's sustainable jobs. You see so many mortgage companies like, oh, there's huge amount of volume, we got to hire a bunch of ops staff, and then volume goes down and they have to do a bunch of layoffs, which is really unfortunate to see. But the way that you've built this company and the way that it operates is we've got ops staff that have been here 10, 20, 30 years.
Exactly.
So it's a different setup.
Yeah, a lot of stability and continuity. And this, frankly, we couldn't have built an AI this exhaustive if not for that level of deep human capital. Because it's still humans that write the rules and collect the data and train the AI. Right.
So let's look at an example here. We've been talking about Morgan. Let me share my screen here. You guys are in Morgan right now watching the webinar, so you know what it looks like. But here's some examples of how you might use Morgan when you're working on a loan. And I do want to point out that everything we've been talking about, the technology, the turn times, the examples I'm going to show here with Morgan, this is available both in our retail and our wholesale channel. So this example I'm going to show is a income calculation. So you can attach documents here in Morgan. You can click on that paperclip icon, attach a document, and just tell her what you want her to do with it. So in this case, I attached a couple of years of tax returns. I asked her to do an income calculation. You could attach a document for a condition, ask her to review that. And as you saw, 70% of conditions are going to be reviewed in under 40 minutes. You could ask her to upload the documents to the loan. You can actually ask her for documents too. So it goes both ways. But here I attached the tax returns, and you can see she gave me this whole big explanation. So I'll blow it up here for you guys. She did give me that calculation, the borrower's income, but she also told me what the usable income was, because I think on that one there was some like overtime that had to be averaged and things like that. She told me what would be needed to verify the income for the borrower. And then she also, I thought it was important to show this whole explanation, even though it's a lot. In that second paragraph, she said, hey, one additional concern here is that the borrower is employed by their spouse's company. So we'll just need some additional documentation. So when you're asking Morgan a question to review something, know that the AI is reviewing the document in the same way that a human underwriter would, without that that room for human error, right? So it's looking at the whole document, not just you ask for the income, here's the income. That way you have the appropriate expectation, you can set the appropriate expectation for your borrower. And things like this, like the income calculation, remember that that's also warranted. When we say Morgan's answers are warranted, that's any answer she gives you, whether it's about a product guideline, a condition review, a calculation that she did. It's all warranted, right, Pavan?
It's all warranted. So that income that came up was $8,600 or something, right? So let's say you had done that, submitted those documents on a pre-approval. Okay, and Morgan said, this is the income, you qualify, you made the offer, and then you submit the loan, right? The loan, the deal goes in escrow, you submit the loan, same documents. You don't have to worry about someone, an underwriter or somebody or quality control department, something changing that number. It will not change. And even if Morgan got it wrong, like I said, she never gets it wrong. But even if she got it wrong, right, the warranty kicks in. So you don't have to worry about, like, you can literally now with confidence tell your realtor and tell your buyer that, hey, this is what it calculates, it's final, and this is it. Right? Your reputation is no longer at risk. Every time you take the loan app and you issue that pre-approval, right now, loan officers that don't have Morgan, they're just like, they also pray. They also say a prayer that please, I hope this loan goes through. That I hope underwriting doesn't change it or whatever, right? Now you don't have to do any of that. No, not discouraging you from praying. That's a good thing, but you don't have to pay for your income.
You can focus your prayers on other things.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you mentioned realtors there because, of course, as loan originators, you get a lot of questions from your realtor partners, and those relationships are incredibly important because you get a lot of your business through your realtor partners. And this technology that you can use while partnering with SunWest or as a SunWest loan originator is also something you can offer to your realtor partners. So it's actually an additional benefit besides the turn times and all of these things we've been discussing. The access to the resource of Morgan is also a benefit of that realtor partnering with you. So Pavan, what are you hearing from realtors that are using Morgan?
They love it. Actually, one of our really good realtors, Eloy, the Century 21 here in Fullerton, the New York Times actually interviewed him because he's making such a massive difference in the Hispanic community, and you can find that. You can read all about it if you just go to swc.com/NYT. You can read the coverage there. And just the whole idea of a realtor being able to go to Morgan and get any answers that he needs 24/7, never have a busy signal, never have a voicemail, and on the spot and in minutes is huge. And it makes you, the loan originator, a hero, that you can give him that kind of tool in his hands. And it sets you apart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't guarantee that you'll be able to answer your phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, just like any loan originator or any human being. But unlike your competition, you can offer that resource where they can still get their answer 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And on top of getting that answer, it's a warranted answer that they can feel confident in. So remember that that's a huge selling point when you're talking to your realtor partners, or you're trying to win a realtor partner over. Using Morgan, showing them the benefit of Morgan is very helpful for you. So we are running close on time. Any final thoughts, anything we didn't hit on that you want to make sure we get the message out on this week?
Oh, yeah. Well, February 12th, we have a big launch, which is Morgan will be accessible by consumers. So look for that big launch, and we're doing something fun during the Super Bowl. Shoot, I'm not supposed to say that either.
The bowl.
the Morgan Bowl. We're calling it the Morgan Bowl. So February 12th, and we're having this a really nice big party here at my house in Puerto Rico. I'm actually setting up a massive HD screen to watch the big game. It's something like 20-foot by 10-foot screen. 4K screen. We're gonna watch the big game on, and I even set up an area with box seats and everything to make it.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
The second floor box seat, and then or you can be in my pool on third floor and watch it while in the pool.
Oh wow. So there you go, folks. Go to Puerto Rico for the Morgan Bowl. Watch it from the comfort of Pavan's pool.
So it's invite only. If you want to invite, just look for the social media post, and it'll tell you what to do.
Tell Morgan.
You can tell Morgan. You can ask Morgan for an invite. Yes, you can also do that.
Excellent. Well, thank you everyone for joining us, spending a little bit of your day with us. Tomorrow we'll be hosting another webinar, No Such Thing as a Tough Loan, where we will talk about how you can work with different those files that tend to be really difficult. They take a lot of time, and how you can accomplish these same turn times we've been talking about with those quote unquote tough loans. And then Friday, we'll be talking all about reverse mortgage. So you can view the webinar tomorrow or Friday, same way that you did it here today. Just go to usemorgan.com, say join now, and you will be right back here with us.
Okay, so you got homework, Angel. You got to look up Abbott and Costello.
Yes, and Hogan's Heroes.
And Hogan's Heroes.
All right, I'll be on YouTube.
All right.